Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified Doctor of Naturopathy, Dr. Stephen Cabral, shares with you exactly how you can reverse aging, take back your health, and live a life full of energy and passion, with new 20-minute episodes every single day to keep you healthy and engaged. Now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hey everybody, back with a brand new Cabral Concept. This is episode 2903 of the show. Today we're going to be getting into how to stop winter colds in their tracks. Now, of course, this can be used for any time of the year, but I want to go over a crash course into how you're going to get sick in the first place, and then by all natural methodologies, what you can do to mitigate that sickness, to overcome the cold faster, and maybe not even let it lock in. So here's an example. You're sitting on an airplane, the person beside you is coughing and they're sneezing, and you're saying to yourself, I really can't get sick right now. I don't want to get sick. This person beside me, well, they're really sick. I'm going to catch this cold as well. Well, really what we're saying is this person is spreading most likely not a bacterial infection, but a viral-based infection. So there's airborne-based particles. Those particles you're essentially getting into your body in really only 4 ways. The least common way is you have some type of cut on your skin and it's moving through the skin into your bloodstream. Less common. Okay. Another not as common way would be touching your eyes. So this is why it really does matter. Like hand washing matters, but it really doesn't matter, to be honest with you, if you're not putting your hands in your eyes, up your nose, or in your mouth. Like, that's the truth. And because that's how it spreads, right? So, and of course, shaking someone else's hand, etc. But I don't think we should stop shaking each other's hands. I just think that maybe we just shouldn't put our hands in our mouth, in our nose, in our eyes, especially as we get to be adults, because that's really how it's spreading. Now, the main way, though, is airborne. So that means as you're breathing in through your nose, this is the main way it's spread. You breathe in through your nose, and those viral particles enter through your nose, and then they can get assimilated into the bloodstream and through the mucosa. So last Friday, I went over why some viruses children aren't as susceptible to. One of those being COVID-19. Again, I'm not saying kids can't get that, a SARS-CoV-2 virus. However, it shows that how their body, this is at least a theory right now, is able to break it down faster. That's what I want to share with you here today. How can we all begin to break down these viruses faster? Some of it's supplementation, but really it goes with all of it is lifestyle based, because you're not always going to have all of your immune boosting supplements with you. So what can we do? All right. So first and foremost, you can't escape, you just can't escape that person you're sitting next to on the plane. So that's not ideal, because the truth is that the more of a virus you inhale, the greater what's called the viral load. Now, that's typically not explained ever to anyone. So if you're only around a little bit of a virus, right, exposed to a little bit of that virus, and you only get a little bit of the virus in, your body only has to deal with a small amount of viral load. So your white blood cells can attack the virus and begin to break it down before because basically a virus isn't a fully fledged thing. It needs a host. You are the human host, right? So it needs to attach to you, right? Your DNA, your body, your tissue. But if your white blood cells can break it down faster, then it can begin to replicate. Well, you never actually catch the cold. And I'm doing that in air quotes if you're watching this on video. And that's because many of us are exposed to viruses on a daily basis. But our immune system is strong enough and our viral load isn't great enough so that we are able to actually not get sick in the first place. Now, what does it mean getting sick? Getting sick is like a cough, a cold, runny nose, right? Runny eyes, fever, body aches. But that's actually not the virus itself. That is our immune system mounting an attack to the virus. That means that what you see is the runny nose, runny eyes, sore throat, whatever it is, that's not actually something to be squelched. That's what conventional medicine does, right? They try to get rid of all the symptoms. But that's actually your body, even a fever, is your body mounting a thermogenic-based effect in order to speed up white blood cell delivery and actually destroy viral replication. Right, that's how sauna is also beneficial. So I just want to share with you that there's a lot of things that conventional medicine tries to suppress. They always try to suppress symptoms when that's our body's way of healing. Okay, but how do we not get there in the first place? That's the goal. Or how do we recover even faster if we do get a cold? Let's go over that right now. So again, slow viral load. If you're at a party or you're somewhere, eating out at a restaurant or just taking food to go, whatever it might be, and you see someone coughing and sneezing, try to move away, right? Like, you don't have to be rude, but move away. The less of that than you inhale, then the less viral load your immune system has to fight off. If you're exposed to a high viral load, you're most likely going to get sick. I mean, just the way that it is, unless you already have the white blood cells that have already been in contact with that virus before, and you can mount a faster attack because you don't need to build up a whole new army of white blood cells. But that's one way. So the second is, and I know this is pretty obvious, if you can't get sick, like if you absolutely can't get sick, and that's why it's challenging for me, because I love to speak at events. So I go and I travel, speak at events. And most of the time, the way that I get to an event is flying, because there's not a whole lot of events always where I'm at. And so the problem is that I have to be on a flight to get there, right? But if you're like, I can't get sick for a presentation I have in 3 days, or I can't get sick for whatever, then I would say to you, do workouts at home. Don't go to a gym where 1,000 people have been at. Don't go out into a crowded marketplace or whatever where there's going to be a lot of people. Now, again, I'm not saying that's the way that you should live your life, but if you absolutely can't get sick, stay away from large crowds of people. That's just the way that is. And then follow these others. You know, people always say, you know, you have to put in washing your hands, with good hygiene, you know, hot water, not cold water, hot water, and soap. Well, here's the thing. It's not that I don't believe in hand washing. It's just I'm saying that the virus isn't going to move through your hands, right? It's going to move through you touching basically your mouth, your eyes, or your nose as to where then the virus might actually get in. So yes, wash your hands, but it's not the end all be all. That does not keep you from getting sick. And yes, it can help with the spread of germs. That's correct. But if everybody kind of keeps their hands away from their face, they're going to be doing just fine. And again, I think being overly worried is not the way that we should live, but it's my opinion. Because again, yes, washing your hands is helpful. Okay, so we have that one there. We're going to wash our hands. We're good. We got that one out of the way. The next one is this. If you believe that you've been exposed to virus or anything like that, more rest, more sleep. Why? Because you want to actually push your body in what's called more of the parasympathetic nervous system. So if you can get more sleep, that's actually when the body is recovering at its fullest, when it doesn't have to be on, when it's not in fight or flight, and it can really have more downtime, more melatonin rather than cortisol, the sleep hormone rather than the stress hormone during the day. And having said that, with your nutrition, intermittent fasting is a big one. But don't starve yourself, because that's actually a greater stress from the body, right? So like the thing is, if you're relaxing and you're just doing yoga and you're meditating, yeah, you could probably do like a longer fast. But if you're super stressed, well, being stressed actually can lower the immune system, right? And eating can help actually decrease some of those cortisol levels. Again, it depends on the individual. It depends if you're dropping into low blood sugar. There's a lot of depends right around that. But what I would say is this, use intermittent fasting. So absolutely try to do fast 3 to 4 hours before bed. Get in bed. Try to stay in bed if you can for a solid 9 hours. Even if you're not sleeping the whole time, at least you're resting. And that's a big part of this as well. All right, let's move a little bit more towards diet. Besides the intermittent fasting and stopping eating 3-4 hours before bed, you know, one thing I'll do is if I feel myself getting run down, I'll just do a smoothie for dinner. And why? It's just super easy to digest. That's basically it, right? So I could digest a smoothie in maybe an hour, 2 hours maximum, where a full meal that I would typically have at dinner might take 3 hours, might take even more, depending on the type of protein and the, you know, raw vegetables or something like that. So just kind of keeping that in mind. Easy to digest foods. Other foods that are great for the immune system are the colorful foods. So the brightly colored fruits and vegetables. Now, you're probably not eating fruit at a meal unless you're maybe making a smoothie or something, but certainly even if it was an hour before your meal, you could have some blueberries, you could have some cherries, you could have something brightly colored. You can even add in some of your citruses, maybe grapefruit or something like that would be fantastic, right? Some natural versions of vitamin C, and you get all your anthocyanins, your polyphenols, all those brightly colored, again, like I said, antioxidants. Now, other things that can be highly beneficial beneficial would be onions and garlic. Now, it depends if you're sensitive to those or not, but onions and garlic can be great for the immune system. Cauliflower could be another one as well. So look for your brightly colored ones. Honestly, whatever you want to eat is great. If you like your greens, eat your greens, your purples, your reds, your oranges. Try to get them all at that meal. Highly beneficial. I love adding sprouts as well. Sprouts just give you a nice boost in a lot of those micronutrients. Okay, so that's it. A big part of that is easy to digest foods. I mentioned that, but like, let's say you're typically having cubed sweet potatoes. You might just try making them mashed. Mashed sweet potatoes are easier to digest, break down, because they're already basically partially broken down for you. Always great to do. Does this mean you need to do this all the time? No, basically I'm saying how to stop a cold. Keep your energy for your immune system, not for all this digestion. So along that same path, we might say, well, let's not over-exercise. Yes, that's a good idea. So instead of going for that personal best weight training workout or personal best cardio run, lighter workouts, maybe a yoga workout, maybe a sauna instead of a workout that day, maybe a walk instead of a run. If you're doing weight training, again, which is highly beneficial. I've done many podcasts on this. Try to drink a smoothie during that workout. I talked about the attenuation of the lowering of the immune system, which happens with a hard weight training workout. So one of the ways to mitigate that, at least to a degree, is actually a protein smoothie during the workout. Banana, blueberries is great. I probably am going to do a whole podcast just on, they had cyclists that basically did a couple blueberries or more for a week before competition, and then had bananas during their competition and during their race, and they found that there was like a 5-fold increase in or decrease in inflammation. So it's pretty remarkable. I'm going to be doing a podcast, probably a Friday review on that. I love these just little nuances. I really do, because I love exercise. I love weight training, but my body doesn't always it responds, but it responds with quite a bit of inflammation. Just I can go into that with body types and Th2 dominance and my past with autoimmune and all that. But anyway, I love to be able to attenuate that, to be able to say, okay, how can I still do the things I love and can be recover quickly? So, okay, so let's not go overboard with any type of stress. So exercise stress or stress in general. Another stressor is smoking. So if you're someone that smokes cannabis or cigarettes or whatever it might be, just go easy on the inhalation of smoke, which is also an oxidant on the body. Another big one is if you enjoy your wine or you enjoy your alcohol, not while you are trying to overcome a cold or stop a cold, because alcohol can suppress the immune system. That's a big one as well. All right, next one, I should have mentioned this earlier, but staying hydrated. We always talk about hydration, yes. But the reason is because you need your mucous membranes operating at 100% capacity. And it's mainly the mucous membranes of your nasal passages. So have you ever wondered, why do my eyes run when I have a cold? Why does my nose run when I have a cold? Well, the reason is it's literally moving white blood cells to the area and trying to get the infection, the viral-based infection, out of the body. It's moving it out of the body. That mucus is coming in. It's bringing secretory IgA, so immunoglobulin A and other types of white blood cells to be able to destroy that which is foreign to the body. So we shouldn't always stop all that mucus-based production. We shouldn't always dry out our nasal passages or eyes, right? Not a good thing when we're trying to stop viral-based replication. So what can you do? A neti pot. Big advocate. I've talked about this before. Again, all previous podcasts are at stephencabral.com/podcasts. Today's episode 2903. You can go right to that show if you want. And we'll try to link up as many as we can. But remember, we're here for you as well. We have a whole team to answer your questions. So if you just want to go to cabralsupportgroup.com, whatever your question is, can't find a podcast, type it in there. The amazing Michelle, amazing Daniel, they'll be there helping you to answer your questions. So please check that out there, cabralsupportgroup.com. It's free. It's a free private health coaching group. We will help you, just point you in the right direction. That's it. Okay. So what I was saying about the hydration is key. About half your body weight in ounces of water per day is a general rule. And if you don't usually follow that rule, try to follow that rule when you're trying to flush the body. So it can be your favorite electrolyte water. Again, smoothies are another favorite one of mine. Herbal teas are a great one. Ginger tea is exceptional. And then why don't we move into some of the teas and supplements? So an elderberry tea, an echinacea tea, all of those would be remarkable because elderberry has already been scientifically proven to shorten the duration of a flu. Literally. Elderberry. So elderberry is a great one when you feel that virus coming on. Let's name a couple others. L-lysine can be a great one. Echinacea, zinc, vitamin C, quercetin, which is called a zinc ionophore. I've talked about that before. Helps get zinc into those tissues and destroy viral replication. What's another great one? Let's see. The one that is, it can be good for the energy and the adrenals as well. Licorice root. There we go. Had to jog the memory from all of the different herbs circling inside of my head. Licorice root could be another excellent one. So I'm going to point you to a couple of nutritional supplements. Again, you never have to get them from Equilife. You can get them at your favorite provider. But what you'll want to look at is something called FM Zinc, functional medicine zinc, or just our immunity protocol. It has balanced zinc, it has alkalizing vitamin C, and it has vitamin D. You just need to make sure those levels are high enough in addition to your daily activated multivitamin or your daily nutritional support. Make sure those are there. Get in omega-3s. You don't need a mega dose of the omega-3s. Those are great. Now, on top of that, what else might you do? His Pro is a favorite of mine. His Pro contains more of the zinc. It contains a lot of quercetin and some N-acetylcysteine. Now, if you have nasal congestion, sinus congestion, again, I have to give you my disclaimer, can't provide anyone with any medical advice, medical cures, medical treatments, or medical diagnosis of any kind, but we're talking about natural health. So there's a product called Sinus Support. Sinus Support, people love. Higher dose N-acetylcysteine and a lot of the nutrients that you need, such as bromelain as well, to get those sinuses draining, to get all of that congestion out as well. So my favorite is basically daily foundation protocol every day. Add the immunity protocol during the winter-based months, which is exactly what I do. I typically use it all year round, but just not at a higher dosage. And then I use His Pro on a daily basis, but other people could use it just when they need it. And then Sinus Support, always having that on hand. So that is exactly what I do, and that's what we use with our clientele, and it works great. So I travel with those. People ask, like, well, what do you do? Well, I travel with those, and I actually start them oftentimes a day before I travel, the day of travel, the day after I travel, and if I don't feel anything building up my system, then I'm good. So that's how I stay healthy when traveling to events to not get all of these viruses in my system. The last one is this. Especially in the winter. This goes back to traditional Chinese medicine. Stay warm. Don't expose yourself to a chill. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't do a cold plunge or things like that. You don't actually want to get to the point, though, where you start to get very cold. And here's why, like internally. You expose yourself to a lowering of white blood cells at that time. Now, initially, there's a surge of adrenaline and certain immune-based factors. But over the long term, you can actually, not over the long term, I shouldn't say that, over the 24 to 72 hours, you can lower immune-based function. That's an important one to understand. The cold itself in the winter lowers white blood cells in the mucosa of the nasal passages. I've done lots of scientific research, meaning sharing lots of scientific research with you on that. So just kind of keeping that in mind. The goal is to stay warm during the winter. Ayurveda talks about this, TCM talks about this, and not exposing yourself to that cold. Now, you want to do cold plunge, you want to do things like that, great. Just not when you feel a cold or virus coming on. That would be my non-medical recommendation to you. Hopefully today's show was helpful. Lots of other podcasts on my virus updates from a couple years back. If you're interested in this, whether it's long haulers, long COVID, etc., lots of those at stephencabral.com/podcast. You can just scroll through the images at the top. You'll find the one on viruses. Again, my team is always happy to help at cabralsupportgroup.com. I appreciate you. I thank you for the products I was talking about earlier. Head on over to stephencabral.com/shop. You can just look at the ingredients. Again, you don't have to get them there. It's totally fine. You can get them from your integrative health practitioner or your local naturopathic doctor. That works as well. Have an amazing day, everybody. I'll be back, as always, with a brand new Cabral concept tomorrow. All right, everybody, before you go, I want to make sure that you know that ending soon is our free offer over at Equalife for the daily care support. This is a $60 value, yours completely free on all qualifying orders. And that means that you get to test out this product if you've never tried it before on us. It is a product that is guaranteed to help with graying hair, thinning hair, and hair loss. So the nutrients, minerals, and herbs in this product have been proven and studied to help with blocking of what's called dihydrotestosterone, DHT, estrogen-based imbalance, and others. Again, it's completely free on all qualifying orders. And if you've been struggling with hair thinning, hair loss, or premature graying, head on over to StephenCabral.com/shop for your free bottle.